It's time for Twig this week in Google. Stacey, Jeff, and Ant, they're all here. We'll find out why Stacey and Jeff both hate their Pixel 6. We'll see some pretty nice pictures Ant took with his Pixel 6. I'll defend the Pixel 6. Then we'll take a visit to the Icelandverse, see what Mark Zuckerberg thinks of that, and some new stuff for Twitter. It's actually pretty good news. It's all coming up next on Twig.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is Twig, This Week in Google, episode 638, recorded Wednesday, November 17th, 2021. Princess Floppy Wrists. This Week in Google is brought to you by Nareva. Nareva is revolutionizing audio for meeting and learning spaces by making it possible to get full room microphone coverage in medium to large spaces without the cost and complexity of multi-component Pro AV solutions. And that's a revolution. Learn more at nareva.com/twit. And by Command Line Heroes, an original podcast from Red Hat that tells the epic true tales of developers, programmers, hackers, geeks, and open source rebels who are revolutionizing the technology landscape. Season 8 is out now. Search for Command Line Heroes on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you listen to podcasts. And by Stripe. Whether you're an online or in-person retailer, software platform, marketplace, or subscriptions business like ours, visit stripe.com to learn more about how Stripe can support your business today. It's time for Twig, This Week in Google, the show where we cover the Googleverse. My buddy Ant Pruitt sitting right next to me from Hands On Photography. It's so nice to have somebody in the studio, anybody, just to keep me company.
And I'm so glad to be here. So.
Yeah, thrilled to have you.
John and Burke are like, what are we, chopped liver?
No,
yeah, exactly.
It's fine, but they've been with me since.
Anybody.
They've been with me for 2 years. I'm sick to death of them.
I'll take them.
Wow.
No.
Boy, oh boy.
There's other people around too, but I mean, sitting next to me at the table is really nice.
Yes.
Also, Stacey, and I wish, Stacey, you were sitting next to me at the table, but you're far away in Seattle. It's good to have you, Stacey Higginbotham, Stacey on IoT.com. It's always my preference to have people in studio if possible.
No doubt.
Just not always possible, unfortunately.
I don't know. The way you've got that table set up so low, I'm thinking.
It's too high now. Do you have big thighs like Ant? I'm going to try to crush his thighs. No, see, it's all the way down.
Yep. I've learned how to sit over here next to you.
I have apparently very narrow thighs. There's nothing there.
I recline a little bit so my quads aren't contracted.
This is the Relax Your Quads show. That's Jeff Jarvis right there. Wait a minute. You have the jingle ready? He is the Leonard Tao Professor for Journalistic Innovation at the Craig Newman School of Journalism at the City University of New York. That's awesome. Literally what they mean when they say you don't have to make a big production out of it. That's literally what they're talking about. We made a big production out of it. I'm surprised. This shouldn't be our lead story, but I'm going to make it our lead story. They are renaming the Staples Center, which is the big,
hold on.
beautiful. You know what it is, right? In L.A., that's who plays there?
That's where the Clippers
Lakers.
And the Lakers play.
Yeah.
What was it called before it was the Staples Center?
It's always been the
Staples
Center.
since they bid it.
Yeah.
Since they built it.
Before that, they had to go to the Forum.
Was it the Paperclip Center before that?
That would be no.
Okay. So they've rebranded it. Staples has given up their branding to Crypto.com Arena.
That's crazy.
Now we know we are living in the future.
I hope they got the money up front.
But at the same time, Crypto.com is all over F1. And you know how much money is going into F1.
Formula One racing.
Yes.
Crypto. I don't even know what Crypto.com is.
It's just a service that allows you to acquire crypto way easier than, trying to figure out how to create a crypto wallet yourself. It's about like Coinbase.
Okay. I did see a story about how they've arrested, actually I think it was on Security Now yesterday, the Ukrainian crypto giant who was because his crypto exchange was being used for ransomware, folks.
Yeesh.
So it was another one of the ransomware arrests. The U.S. is really, we're pissed. That's it. We're taking you guys down. It's too bad because I think there's nothing inherently evil or wrong about Bitcoin, just as there wasn't, frankly, anything inherently creepy or wrong about BitTorrent.
Right.
But because BitTorrent was often used for piracy, it became the piracy. And I worry that because of ransomware and other misuses of crypto, that crypto is going to be seen that way.
But doesn't it happen with all the things we use? I mean, the internet was supposed to be just
that's why we can't have nice things, right?
And for communication and information, and yet at the same time,
the internet is a good thing for
but
all
yet
of
at the
that.
same time,
I mean, yes, there's porn too.
Cesspool,
You are becoming Jeff Jarvis already, and we haven't even gotten to the rant portion of the program yet, Stacey. Look at that.
That was a positive rant. That was defending
She's
the internet
defending the
and
internet.
the joys of it. That's not a rant.
U.S. detains crypto exchange exec for helping Ryuk ransomware gang launder profits. Denis Dubnikov, founder of Egg Change and Crypto Coyote, he was actually on vacation. He was attempting a vacation in Mexico, denied entry to the country. They sent him to Amsterdam, where he was arrested by Dutch police at the request of the FBI. Actually, he's not from Ukraine. He's a Russian national. So, one more arrest.
Then no wonder he was helping Ryuk. Aren't they a Russian gang?
Yeah, it seems like all the ransomware gangs are in Russia. I don't know why that is. They're just giving Russia a bad name, right? All right, now back to the real news. The top of the heap. Number one, Stacey hates her Pixel 6.
Yeah, this is the top of the garbage heap, y'all.
Oh, no.
Wait a minute.
Stacey.
I love my Pixel 6 Pro. Took it to Mexico, got great pictures. I was just talking about how I've decided not to use the Pixel launcher, but switched over to a third-party launcher.
Because you enjoy that freedom.
And that's one of the things I love about Android. I don't have to use their launcher, and I'm using Action Launcher, but there's many good ones, including Scooter X-Lex Nova Launcher. Used that for years. There's one called Lawn Chair, which has a good name. Microsoft even has its own launcher. But I'm using Action X, and it gives me a lot more control over how it looks and feels and stuff. But what is it you don't like about? So I'm just saying, I'm just going to stand up for the Pixel 6 Pro. Now you got the Pixel 6.
I got the Pixel 6, and my issue with it, there are two issues. One, it's freaking heavy. Like, it is literally hurting my wrists.
Yeah.
So
what did you have before?
I had the 3A. It was 150 ounce or grams versus 207 grams.
Yep.
So this is a huge.
So it's a whole pound more.
Same with the 4A. It was ridiculously light.
No, I'm sorry.
I put this on my scale. It's half a pound.
That's
With my
a lot.
case, it's almost half a pound.
Total.
That's a lot.
Total.
So
it's a few ounces more, I guess, is what I was thinking.
It's
28 grams to the ounce. So, 4 ounces more. Yeah.
It's like 2 ounces more, I think.
2 ounces more. I know, it doesn't seem that heavy, but okay.
Okay. It is truly heavy. And like when I'm holding it one hand, it's hard to control and keep it all in. So that's one. Two, the
do you have abnormally floppy wrists?
Okay, you're going to feel really bad about this, but I had carpal tunnel.
Oh, you do have floppy.
And then my grip strength is not great, but there are lots of people who have like arthritis or extra floppy wrists. I mean, it is inconvenient to like.
Okay, so this is a personal thing. It's not necessarily a indictment of the camera of the phone.
The second reason I'm doing it is because this fingerprint sensor is just.
Okay, that is more of an indictment of the phone, and a lot of people are complaining about it. Yep. Google says that they are
too heavy and not. Hold on. I think it being so heavy, like half a pound is a lot. Like, and I think that's an indictment thinking about the user base, because I think there are probably lots of women, people with small hands, people who suffer from any sort of joint disease. This is a problem, and that there's no alternative. That's what gets me. It's not that
there are lots of alternatives. It's just not in the
just
current
not flagship.
not the flagship Pixel variety.
Right, but I think that's a big. I mean, I think.
You think Google should make
It hurts
phones
my
in a
feelings.
variety of sizes? I mean, I guess they do.
Big and small. Yeah. I think it's not crazy to be like, here's a medium-sized phone and here's our supercharged Pro phone.
Is it safe to
Apple
say
does it
a
now.
6A would be ideal for you if they continue along that same trajectory the way they've
It's
done
not going to be
the
much
3 and the
lighter, I
4A?
don't think.
If they get rid of the glass, I mean, the glass is what's heavy. And a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people, and I love you for thinking this. Y'all are totally right. It does feel super premium, but I would love to get rid of that premiumness because, I mean, okay, when you're like lying on your back trying to read your phone, God help you if it slips. It's going to whack you in
It's
the
gonna
face
hurt.
so hard.
You would hate you would hate the Pixel 6 Pro. It's even heavier.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I've
a
been
tank.
sitting here Googling the weight and grams of all these phones this last week.
So I guess the argument I would say for this is I'm glad Google made a phone and didn't say, oh, well, we got to really limit what this phone can do because we want to keep it under a certain weight. They still make the 4A and the 5. You can still get the 5, the 4A, the 5A, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I'm sure those are
You can't
lighter.
get the 5.
You can't get the 5 anymore.
You can only get the 5A. The 5 was actually what I wanted to get, but
Yeah.
they don't sell it anymore.
Oh,
So I'm thinking
know
about.
that.
I bet you can get it on Amazon
Yeah.
or somewhere. Google may not sell
Yeah,
it
I think I
direct.
can get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So that, I mean, that's a personal choice. And of course, you're certainly entitled to your personal choice. The fingerprint reader is something that a lot of people are complaining about. Actually, again, I haven't had any problem with the fingerprint reader, but is it laggy for you?
it's both laggy and you know, honestly, again, with it being so heavy, I'm having it in the back. This is where I'm supporting my phone anyway.
Yeah,
and when
that
I have
would
to
make more
move my
sense.
thumb over, it's farther. It's a little. It's not too far, but it's almost too far, and it kind of destabilizes it with the weight. So I just.
Yep. So you can't get a nice
it's-
firm press on it because you definitely.
Yeah, I don't
have
get a
to
good press,
do a
and you
firm
need that press.
Yeah.
See, I've
Yeah.
moved over to the two-handed phone operation. Basically, I gave up a long time ago on one-handed phone operation.
You're like Trump in a glass of water.
But it's not just.
Them
I mean,
fighting words there.
if I'm walking with the dog, I've got a leash in one hand. I've got groceries. I've got a kid. I've got all. I mean, like the times when I'm. yes,
dump
I
the
can
dog
totally
and the
use my
kid.
phone.
What's the priority, Stacey? The phone more important than anything else. You know.
And I would say, anytime I'm out in public, I try really hard not to be super focused on my phone because then that makes me a target. So
Yeah,
I also like to just be like quickly
Well,
access things, and I can't on this thing.
Well, that's why you need the Pixel Buds, right? So
You know
can
what you need,
access stuff.
Stacey. Pixel Buds.
An iPhone Mini?
Go ahead.
Well, this is ironic because Apple stopped making the minis because they didn't sell very well.
Well, they started making. No, they make the small one again. My wife finally got a new phone after.
Yeah, they make
7
the
years.
13 mini.
Oh, they do make the 13
Yeah,
mini?
They do. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been.
I think
I
what you need
apologize, I was wrong.
is the flip. The flip open.
Oh, the Samsung.
Samsung.
I'm going to go to the Verizon store and see what
I
kind of
love
some
the
options
Samsung.
are this.
I think the Flip
Best
3
Buy
is
has them on
great.
display.
And the Flip 3 has
Yeah.
a fingerprint reader on the
on the
off
side,
switch,
right?
so and it works very well and very quickly.
Man.
And you can hold it
Okay.
with one hand. Maybe the Flip 3 rather is for you. Yeah,
I enjoy
That
the
sounds-
phone
I mean,
myself. It's
daintier.
totally fine.
dainty.
But I have large
I
hands.
really just
You
I
do.
wanted to stay with Andrew. I do want to stay with Andrew. He's my husband.
Okay, that's on the record.
We'll be glad to hear that.
You're safe,
So
Andrew.
the iPhone Mini is 141 grams. How much did you say the Pixel 6 is?
207.
207. So it's 66
Yeah, that's pretty
grams
substantial.
heavier. Yeah, that's like
It is.
2.5
It's-
ounces. Yeah. So,
difference.
okay. It hurts my feelings. I don't know why. I don't care. You should get whatever you want. I guess what I'm thinking is I'm so happy that Google finally made a big jump in their phone. I didn't buy the 5 because it was no better
Right.
than the 4 XL. So, and I always buy the XL, so large doesn't buy. I'm a big guy.
You are?
But I want.
Yeah. Would you say, Ant? Would you call him a big guy?
You are?
I'm rotund, not beefy like you.
All right.
But
You're short.
5'10" is not short.
Oh yeah, it is.
To Burke, it's not short.
Did I?
You're not a big
do
guy.
something
I'm sorry.
wrong?
I'm just really
you
happy
said
to
you
be
said
here
my
in
opinion
studio.
just isn't. What did you say about my opinion? It's
he was
my personal
hurt.
opinion. It's not.
Well, no,
it's
no,
not-
no, Merely a
I'm
personal
just saying it's not a criticism of the phone. It's just too heavy for you. I don't think that's a criticism of the phone. The fingerprint reader is a criticism of the phone.
Yeah. My problem is still Android 12. I continue to have issues with Bluetooth connectivity. It just toggles off. Just for whatever reason, just shuts off. Not necessarily the devices disconnect, but the actual switch.
I really
in the
want to
OS.
defend this phone.
Just talk-
I don't
well, the
know
phone
why.
is
I shouldn't
fine.
care. I don't
It's
have a
the
dog in the
OS.
sun. I have had no problems with it. I think it's a really good phone, and I'm really pleased that Google finally
The phone is
stepped up to the
great.
plate. Great camera. It's fast.
Are you having reception? Like, because I've noticed my reception on this phone is a little in areas where it had been
I
dodgy.
feel like we're on Reddit.
It's dodgy.
Now. This is
No, I
and another.
live
thing.
on an island with dodgy reception, so I can't really complain. But I'm not able to
/ rants.
get full calls
rants so
in
nicely.
places that I had been.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of people who are unhappy with the Pixel 6. And it's funny because we were talking on Windows Weekly this morning, and Mary Jo Foley's not happy with it. Paul isn't happy with it.
What are their reasons?
Why aren't
I
they
think
happy?
the fingerprint reader primarily.
Mary Jo said it was too heavy.
Yeah, she's too heavy for her. She does like the camera. She's
like the
really
camera.
happy with the camera. Well, you're gonna have this is lighter than a camera.
It is.
You're gonna have. There's a certain amount. There's a
is.
concomitant between
Well,
capabilities.
it's lighter than carrying around a supercomputer, which it is, but
No, but
I mean,
if you were to carry a good camera, this is very, very good camera, and it's a lot lighter than any other camera that you might.
you are
carry.
trying so hard to rationalize it. It ain't working.
You really are. If
haven't
I
even heard my
can't, if I
objections
can't
yet.
maneuver the camera or maneuver the phone safely, I can't use any of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying you shouldn't throw it away. I'm just. I don't want
I was
people.
just going to return
I
it.
want to do whatever you want. I just kind of want.
Oh, mine was almost headed out the window.
I don't want people
Almost.
to hate it because I really think
I'm not saying- but-
Google did a good job. By the way, they're selling like hotcakes.
Yeah, and you know what? It's there. I love many parts of this phone. And I was looking for this phone, but it's just too heavy for me. But I think that's
Yeah, I
a valid
understand.
criticism, especially
Sure.
for people who.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, lots of people want smaller phones too. How about what don't you like about it, Jeff?
So I've had a big week.
Oh no,
I've
what
replaced
happened?
my laptop, every cable box in the house, which is more than you want to know about Verizon, and a phone. And so it wasn't a good week. There were
Did they take away your cord?
It was difficult.
What cord? What?
Jeff has a corded phone, a landline phone with
Oh
a cord.
no.
Oh no, he
What?
still has it. Okay.
What? So
I thought maybe they took that away, and he was like, "I need the
I
90s."
have not. I haven't used one of those since before the pandemic. I mean, I probably in years. One of those. Wow.
It's been a while.
We have
My daughter's-
one.
dial tone.
Oh, she's never seen one. She went over to her grandparents as little kids. She would
the hell
play
is
with
that?
They were just like, "What is this thing?" Okay, Jeff, I'm sorry. You're bad.
So all right. So two things. One is I friggin' hate the rounded edge Samsung thing. Why? It distorts. I don't like the feel of it. I just really hate that. I just do. It's also top heavy. So
Yeah, a lot-
yours is,
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of
Yours
people are
is
complaining
heavy,
about the curved
Stacey?
glass. Yeah.
but this being taller, it's awkward. Is even more awkward, I would say.
I believe it.
even
I'm
though
starting to
I'm
think I hate this phone. I want to get rid of this
I am
piece of
a
crap.
certified big guy.
I just hate this phone.
Just threw it away.
Going back to the
So that
iPhone.
wasn't what had me going berserk. what had me going berserko is an old theme
iPhone's
on
heavier.
this show,
Oh, what's that?
which is the Workspace,
Workspace.
formerly known as G-Spot or whatever it is.
Wait, no, it's better on the Android 12.
Oh, wait. Oh, just you wait, Henry.
Okay, tell me what I haven't encountered.
So the problem was, because I have my personal domain is a Workspace just so I can have the damn domain, right? I don't have a staff of 20 running IT for me. It's just me. I am my own bad IT. And so I try to put it on and it says you must establish a work profile. And then it says, but you're not authorized to establish a work profile. You have to talk to your IT manager. Who's the IT manager? Me.
You.
And can I find anything, anywhere, absolutely anything that tells me how to allow my own self to establish the work profile, which I don't want anyway. I don't want this personal versus work thing. I hate it. It doesn't exist on my Android 12, on my nice 03 XL. Now it exists on this, and it's getting in the way. And I was ready to throw it out the window. I reinstalled things like 5 times. I was going nuts. I couldn't find anything. Then a very nice Googler took pity on me and sent me a DM. I guess it was a DM. I guess he wanted a private, so I won't give him credit. But thank you, Googler, to tell me how to authorize myself to do what myself wants to do. But I still...
what?
I still don't want this whole work versus personal thing. Now that's why does it exist on the Pixel 6 Pro, because it's Pro, not on the same operating system on my 3A XL? I don't know. So I was getting pissed off and fed up. I was doing the same thing as Stacey. I was looking back at the 5 and the 4 even. I was then looking at the Pixel 6. I'm probably being silly because, hey, I'm a silly guy. So I did get the RMA. I got the RMA right here. I can send it back.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. No,
Wow.
because that's the only way I rest easy is I can get rid of this thing.
Wow.
And so I got it. I probably won't return it because I feel kind of bad returning things, having done so with a laptop recently. And so I'll probably hold on to it, but I'm not as pleased as I should be. I haven't even put my SIM in it yet because I'm just not committed to it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now, Mr. Howell made a good point about that whole top-heavy visor part. It does feel okay if you put your finger right there up under it.
Or you get a pop socket.
Yeah.
pop socket.
I am far too old for a pop socket.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Don't you
Jeff,
have a pop
I
socket?
will send you the perfect pop socket.
Yeah.
Well, I had it on my old phone, but now, yeah, I'm coming up with Jeff's perfect pop socket. That's what I'm going to be thinking of.
It should
So
have.
I'll probably hold on to it, but I'm not happy about it. And so now I'm stuck with this thing for the next, 4
Wait,
years.
snap that picture. That's what we need on the pop socket.
Yes.
I'm not happy about it.
Got it.
I thought we'd just get him a Frank Sinatra pop socket.
Oh, we could put.
Bum.
I think this is more, present day value, Jeff. Don't live in the past when he was called a bum.
This is
You spoke about the curved edges as well. I like a flat edge phone just for a better grip because this phone is already slippery, and then you put those curved edges on it.
Absolutely. And
makes
and it distorts. What does it do to photos? I think I hate the way it does it to text and websites. What does it do to photos to have the curved edge on the screen itself?
I haven't
just don't
noticed
like
any type of distortion because I guess everything is sort of centered and not necessarily towards the edges.
Now it's going to drive you crazy. You, like
noticed that.
Leo, is soon going to be throwing the phone down and saying, I hate it.
Nah, I dig this phone. I just come from the 4XL, so this is a
me too.
big improvement
Yeah.
from a hardware standpoint.
I came from the
My
3
only beef is the
AXL.
OS. It has nothing to do with the phone. My only beef is the OS.
You guys are just a bunch of
Jeff-
picky.
Return it because I don't think we can handle you complaining if you keep about it.
Oh, no, let's keep it because we can get segments.
It's
each week.
content. Yeah, it's content for the show.
It's a regenerating wheel of content. Jeff complains
Meanwhile,
about
I
the
finally
Pixel.
got I finally settled on a new,
Oh,
I got the Pixelbook Go.
Good. Was that the one you returned?
No, well, it's complicated. I got the CX9 and really disliked it.
Oh, that's the
Really?
Acer. Yeah.
It was really expensive too.
Yes.
So I got a refund for that.
What didn't you like about the CX9?
I thought it was a bad build. The screen was yellow.
Oh no!
Keyboard I hated.
Okay.
And when you have the convertible where the back raises up the keyboard,
It's kind of weird.
Makes the keyboard more wonky, right?
Yeah.
I want a solid keyboard. So, man, I'm listening. I'm hearing my Android God in my head, on my shoulder. Good Kevin. There's no bad Kevin. There's only a good Kevin on your shoulder.
About Chromebooks.com.
And so he's been pushing the 713 spin.
Yeah.
Not pushing it. I won't say.
No, but that's his favorite, I think. It's
he likes it. He recommends it. He has a reasonable and it's the aspect ratio I want. So I went and I bought it, but I didn't open the box because I thought, I don't know. I just don't know. So then I went and saw the Go because only place I could see it was at the Google store in New York, in Manhattan.
Their pop-up store, yeah.
And it's more than a pop-up. It's permanent. It's there forever. So I liked the Go a lot. And then I returned the 713, but it was unopened, so I don't feel bad about that because they'll just use it again. And I went and got the Go. It's more than the 713. I'm not happy with the aspect ratio. I'm not happy with the smaller screen.
Man.
But I'm going to make it go.
I thought you would have really liked the Asus, though. That was a top-notch one.
We didn't even open it.
I thought it was going to be it.
I didn't even open it.
I was so disappointed. So disappointed.
You didn't even open it. How can you be disappointed?
Which?
The spin.
I went to Best Buy. I became best buddies with the guy there. I went to their time and time.
Tried it there.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I go full neurotic on this stuff.
I'm trying to make some sense of this because you defend the internet, you defend with all its flaws and warts, you defend Facebook, but if it's hardware, if it looks at you funny, you don't even open the box.
Zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance.
Yeah, I remember on this show I famously did the reboxing.
Oh yeah,
of a.
I think you've returned more than you've kept. In your years,
I've returned some stuff over the years, but
hardware doesn't change, and software does. So you can always, and the internet changes, and
Stacey.
So hardware, if you buy it and you hate it from the get-go, it's not going to get any better.
True.
If you hate the physical properties of it.
No, that's true. But
Stacey and I are
the fingerprint reader might get better. In fact, Google has an update that's going to supposedly fix it. So. That's software.
Yeah, but the weight of this phone is not going to change.
That's
my core problem.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
you could get stronger.
Okay, you laugh, but I'm actually in physical therapy right now for my tennis elbow, lifting little weights.
Pickleball,
little tiny weights.
Yeah, no more pickleball. That's
rowing.
Right.
It was rowing.
Rowing. That's right. I remember it was rowing. It was rowing. Okay, good. Let's move on.
Y'all. Okay, real fast. How much was the Galaxy Z Fold?
Well,
about $1,500.
It's $1,500, but they're pretty generous in the trade-ins. So if you have an old phone to trade in, you might get a few $100 or more. I was able to get a lot for the Fold.
Oh, nice.
The old Fold.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to give my Pixel back to Google, and then just all I've got now, because I gave Anna my 3A, so all I've got is like.
I have the Fold in my office. I should get it for you, and I should. You know what? Why don't I just send it to you?
No.
Yeah, no. I'm going to send you my Fold. Who's your carrier?
He's not using it.
Well, it's a third phone. I mean, third phone's like third leg. It's
third phone.
You know, it's hard enough to use two phones. Three, it's like a little much.
That's a lot.
Do you? Who's your carrier?
It's Verizon, but I can go and swap
it.
It's
a Verizon phone. Good news. Good news. I'll leave my SIM in it. I'll just pay for your cell phone.
I was about to say, hold on there, buddy.
Yeah, it's all on me, Stacey.
Stacey, are you in Europe roaming? What?
Why am I getting calls from Hungary? Let's see. Apple this is a breaking story that just came out, and it's a huge story. As you know, Apple's been taking a lot of heat. Most recently because they said third-party repair companies can't replace the screen on the iPhone 13, and if they do, the Face ID stops working. Apple changed its tune on that shortly after receiving a ton of criticism. Today, they took the extra step. They announced that they are going to allow the general public to repair their own phones. They're going to sell, this is something third-party repair shops have been begging for years. Apple fought in the right to repair bills in many state legislatures. Apple is going to sell repair parts directly to the public. This is something I don't even think Google does this. It will also make repair guides available to the public. Apple said in a press release this morning, available first for the iPhone 12 and iPhone 13, soon to be followed by Mac computers featuring M1 chips. Self-service repair will be available early next year in the U.S., expand to additional countries throughout 2022. The initial focus will be on screens, batteries, and cameras, but will expand next year. Now, I have to tell you, repairing an iPhone is a non-trivial thing. If you go to iFixit, you can see there's a lot of glue. But after you've completed your own repair, you can repair. Now, by the way, if they allow end users to do that, presumably that means you could also, as a third-party repair shop, get the same stuff. Or I could buy it and bring it to a third-party repair shop. After they've completed their own repair, they can return the broken parts to an Apple store for store credit. Apple said it will offer more than 200 individual parts and tools to help repair iPhone 12s and 13s. This is stunning.
Yeah.
Complete reversal. And by the way, the right thing to do. Thank you, Apple. Let's give them credit.
They just want to get rid of geniuses?
Well,
no, there still will be a market for geniuses. People will still have issues and bring it to but this is what a good, solid FTC that means business can do. Just the threat of that has pushed them to make this, and that's good.
It's also, let's give lots of credit to right to repair campaigners like Kyle Wiens at iFixit and others who have for a long time really pushed for this, to the media, which has been very critical of Apple's unrepairable devices. I think this is amazing.
This is a good
correct.
first step, but if this phone is ridiculously difficult to repair, what's the point of having all of these?
Yeah, if it's not engineered for repair, exactly. Then it'll just,
this is, hey, look, maybe that's the next step.
They've made the battery. Well, no, in the most recent,
it's pretty easy to replace the battery. That's right.
Yeah, so I think they're making, and this is all part of I think, okay, FTC, the EU, France actually passed a law requiring this. So I know that nobody cares what France does necessarily, but good. And it's a sustainability thing. Like people are getting, their consumers and customers are looking at that and they're like, I
need to make this
throw
phone
away all this toxic metals. Yeah. Yep. So I think that's really good.
Hey kids, I'm old enough to remember when you could take out your battery in your phone, and carry around 6 of them.
Me too.
I repaired the battery thanks to iFixit. I repaired the battery in my iPhone. My Pixel 4 XL. So, and you can do it. Apple often has special tools in the Apple stores for these kinds of repairs, but I suspect this is a first step. Maybe they'll be more repairable next year. Thank you, Apple. We've been hating on them for a while for not doing this, and I think it's a really good thing that they are. And I'd like to see Google follow suit. And usually when Apple does something, even if it's something as dumb as taking away the headphone jack, other companies follow suit. So let's hope that happens.
Not just Google, but Samsung and Motorola and other companies.
Yeah. When your decision to buy the Pixel Go, was it influenced by this story? Google allegedly won't release a new Pixelbook next year at all.
No, I knew I was doomed. My beloved Pixelbook. Oh, I loved it so much. It's the best machine, but it was with battery 98%, 10 minutes left. So I knew it was doomed. The keyboard was starting to.
This is again the argument for right to repair. This, although the other problem, and I also have this very nice last Pixelbook. It's a great device.
Oh, it's a great machine.
The only other problem with it is that Google didn't guarantee continued updates. I think they were. Right. Now they've changed their tune on Pixels on the phones, so I'm hoping that they will do the same for Chrome. In fact, I think they did do the same for Chromebooks.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Well, I have a Chromebook. I have another Chromebook that's out of the prior one.
Do you still use it?
In the office, yeah. It's my backup.
I don't see any reason not to.
To machine, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a little break. Everybody's got all the spleen, all the bile out. You feel better?
No. Oh, we'll find more.
Lots more spleen and bile to come.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't particularly bilious, I felt.
No, you weren't. No. I was disappointed. I thought in the Jeff off here, I think Jeff still won, frankly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I have a hard time being that way.
Yeah.
You have to really piss me off.
Oh.
No, and there's no reason to be mad at the Pixel. It's just not for you.
It's not for her.
It's a completely appropriate to return.
She's highly
your
disappointed.
baby
She
isn't
waited.
ugly. This Pixel is lovely. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
It's not it. It's me.
It's not your fault. It's mine that we're breaking up.
Our show today brought to you by Nareva. We're all getting back to work, but you still want to practice social distancing. You still want to be sensible in the office. Do you have a huddle room? A big one? Do you need some audio? There's a couple of choices. Of course, you go to a Pro AV company, and they will come in for the mid-sized and large rooms. They'll come in with multiple components, mics, speakers. They'll put them in the ceiling. They'll spread them across the table. Lots of cables. You're going to have technicians not only to figure out what you need, but to install it, and then, even calibrate the system forever. Installation could take days, tens of thousands of dollars per room for purchase and installation. Yeah, you probably get a good result, but then you got all of those microphones you got to clean after every meeting. It's just a nightmare. Nareva is the right solution. It simplifies almost every aspect of audio conferencing. So let's say instead of going with a Pro AV solution, you went to Nareva. Exceptional audio for rooms up to 25 by 25 feet. That's with a single integrated microphone and speaker bar. If it's 30 to 50 feet, if it's a bigger room, get 2 bars. You can install them yourself. It's just like installing a sound bar. 30 minutes, 2 screws, 1 cable, that's it. It's an easy DIY project, and it costs a small fraction of Pro AV systems. And I got to say, Nareva is brilliant. This microphone coverage, you might say, well, where's the microphones? They're in the device using Nareva's patented microphone mist technology, which gives you, using computational audio, true full room coverage. Everyone's heard, no matter where they move in the room, they can even face away from the microphone. And it's continuously calibrating. No expert has to come in and do it. In fact, you can control the whole thing from your Nareva console. So if you have multiple rooms, a fleet of systems, easy. You can monitor, manage, adjust, and scale. You won't need any training. It's so easy to use. It's just a great solution. And only Nareva can do it because of their patented microphone mist technology. I want you to check out Nareva, NUREVA.com. It's the solution for these mid-size and large meeting and learning spaces. And it's a so much better solution than the Pro AV solution. Nareva is changing the world of audio in meeting rooms by simplifying almost every aspect. Nareva, go to nareva.com/twit to learn more. It's a great solution. NUREVA, nareva.com/twit. We thank them so much for their support of This Week in Google. I'm, as you know, a kind of a audio fiend, and Nareva's pretty darn amazing. What they're doing is incredible. Thank you, Nareva. Did you see? I actually meant to talk about this on Sunday. We had Paris Martineau, who works for Jessica Lesson at The Information. We just didn't get around to it. But I thought this was very interesting. Jessica Lesson's husband, Sam, was at Facebook. He was a Facebook vice president. He had his own startups, a couple of them. I got to know him then because I was a big fan of his startup. He is now a VC, Sam Lesson.
Following his father's footsteps. I was a friend of his father.
Oh, I did. Who is his father?
Robert Lesson was a major investor, banker and investor.
I did not know that. Sam was just a sweetheart. I always thought Sam was smart and really nice. He has his own investment VC firm, Slow Ventures. And instead of investing in startups and in companies, they've decided to start investing in creators. They've joined a few individual investors, spending $1.7 million for a 31-year-old YouTube personality, Marina Mogilko. They didn't buy her.
I was going to say, this sounds like trafficking.
She's not for sale. No, they invested in her. They gave her $1.7 million in return for actually, I think, a small, a chunk, a 30-year employment contract or not contract, but a 30-year investment deal, 5% of her creator-related earnings.
Once she makes over a certain amount.
Over a certain amount, plus a percentage from any IP she develops. So it could be even longer. Marina said, if I write a book,
like a record deal.
It's like a record deal, but it's a long deal. What do you think? Investing in people instead of in products or companies?
I thought that's what all great employers do from the get-go.
That's a good point. They always say we're investing in the team, not the yeah.
So
I think it's like scholarships in a way. And maybe we should look at it that way, where maybe you should pay back your scholarships only when you start making money. And maybe you pay a little higher rate if you make a lot of money or something like that. So it's interesting. It's also interesting to say this is a way to support a creator, which I like. The problem is the underlying ways in which the creator actually makes the money to pay it back hasn't been revolutionized.
No.
So you revolutionize one part of it where you can invest and give some money up front, and I think that could be interesting. But I'd really like to see more innovation in how that creator in turn gets revenue for those 30 years.
Is this the same type of tactic for people to write books?
No, it's not at all.
No, they get an advance.
It's
for
an advance
a book.
for a specific book. It's advance against royalties. And it's the other way around, really.
Oh, okay.
Instead of you giving them 5%, they give you 5 or less per book. It's not a lot of money. So this is different. As you said, Jeff, Sam Lessin told Vice that they don't get any money unless she's making in the range of hundreds of thousands of dollars. She takes that off the top. Adding the number will adjust with inflation as well. If she decides to become a lawyer or just gives up YouTube, she keeps the 1.7 million. If she gets a Netflix deal or a job with the YouTube related to the creator economy, she has to give them 5%. 5 is, of course, much less than an agent would get. But they're not making. I don't know how much they're helping her get the deals. That's another question. What do they do for this money?
Is it basically? Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
No, you go.
Well, I was just going to say, is this just a loan? But no one else would loan against this, so you're doing.
Well, I guess it's a loan.
Well, in the sense that
you have to pay it back. Yeah.
Well, I think that's the right question, Stacey, because unless she's investing this in some way, why do you invest in it? Why does the company take investment at all? So they can grow faster than they would otherwise.
Yep.
So what does the money do for her that lets her do more than she otherwise would do? Maybe it means she can hire a staff to help her make more stuff, or I don't know.
Help her be more efficient as a creator and just cut down a little bit of angst and stress from being a creator, where they can actually focus on doing the job.
The Genius Award, yeah.
And you could focus on riskier stuff in the hopes that it pays off, in the future, because you don't have to pay your bills today out of your creator funds, right? So you can do longer, slower projects. I mean, giving people runway is always good for those people, right? I mean, provided they do something.
Provided they're focused, right?
Yeah, I'm like, if you gave me runway and I just spent it on chips and read books the whole time, maybe that's not great. But if I built something,
yeah.
And actually, Sam made the same point you made, Ann. He said, even if you invest in startups, you're investing in the people. This is just making that explicit. It's interesting. I mean, I think you are seeing something very different in the media scene. This is one way that the internet and YouTube have changed that, and TikTok and others have changed that, which is, when I was working in mainstream media, the last thing any company wanted to do is to promote a star, because it meant that it was going to cost them a lot of money. They wanted
to lose them.
That leverage.
And then you'd lose them. So they wanted you to be a star, but they had mixed feelings about the whole thing. And in any event, NBC saw its operations as more than any individual, right? So, maybe Tom Brokaw was a star, but it was really a bunch of people. And there was certainly star maker salaries, even more than she's getting being handed out, lots more than she's getting being handed out. But now you're investing, but in that case, you were the company that providing the infrastructure, doing the backbone, kind of like Twitter is. And now it's just, you're saying, go ahead, do whatever you do.
This is your budget.
What if
kind of
Sam
riding on YouTube too, in a way? They're letting YouTube do all that stuff that normally NBC would have done.
What if Sam came to Hank and said, Hank, here's $1.5 million.
Hank would say that's not enough.
I own 5% of you for the next 30 years.
I don't know. Hank, we're talking about my son who has a fairly successful TikTok channel, has already been approached by investors. So there are definitely people out there who want to throw money at him and say, but nothing quite so explicit as this. I'll own 5% of you. 5% of you is the problem.
What kind of returns is he promising? I mean, look at that.
Well, he hasn't done any deals yet, so he's signed a management deal with a company that does this, but mostly what they do is they get him ads, they get him revenue. So, but there are people, big name people have come to him and said, we'd like to put money into you in some way.
For what?
I mean,
what's the quid pro?
Well, in the, I don't know all of the deals. My kid is like going like crazy. I don't know. I get one of them was a product tie-in. So we want to invest in a product that you're going to do. He's going to start selling salt.
Salt. Yeah.
And
that's an investable thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I said, no, don't let them invest here. I want to buy in. So I invested. His mother and I have invested in him.
That's what's up.
That's a little friendlier investment too,
Yeah.
So I think that's why I bring this up. Not so much about Hank, but just in general. This is a new way of thinking about it.
It makes it real.
It's a new way of thinking about it.
So if Hank, let me put it this way then. If Hank suddenly had a big wump of money, right? He could hire publicists to get his name way out there. He could to get him on the Today Show and do all that stuff and pump him. He could hire a production team to make more things across more platforms. I'm just brainstorming here.
Yeah.
He could. What else could he? Well, he could then make more products than salts, right? He could come up with
but that's what's so weird because again, if NBC comes to me and says we're going to pay you $1.7 million a year to anchor the nightly news, they do everything except I do the hosting.
Right.
This is kind of the other way around. You do everything. We're going to give you money. You do whatever you want with that. We're just going to take whatever happens. That's a weird leap of faith and kind of a strange.
Well, okay. Hold on. So think about it from the venture world, where you will have for every huge home run, you're going to have 5 of yours utterly fail, right? And then a couple make even, and then 1 or 2 do like triple, 5x maybe. So if you think about investing in this creator, you've got a creator. You're going to take 5% of them. Let's say she creates her own empire worth, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what's like 500 million.
Well, that's kind of what they're saying.
Yeah.
Lesson said, and this is the Vice article, Slow Ventures is close to finishing up the paper work with more people it will be investing in. Listen to this. Hoping one of them becomes the next Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or Kim Kardashian. Now,
very different things.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
But look at someone like Reese Witherspoon. 2012, I think it was. She started her own production company, and now it's worth like $900 million. So if you funded Reese back in the day,
but the way you would fund
$45 million now
is you would make a deal to fund the production company. These are just like, I believe in you as a person, whatever you're going to do.
But if you invest that to start a company, you're making a piece of it.
Yeah, she's going to create a company around her stuff. Do they? I mean, if they're giving me money, are they doing the deal with Stacey Higginbotham? Or are they doing it with SKT Labs LLC?
No, well, so that would be the latter would be more traditional. I think about Spotify giving the Who's Your Daddy host $20 million a year for 3 years. That's a more traditional thing. We're paying you $20 million. You're going to work for us and make a podcast for us.
Right.
And then we're going to get the benefit of that. That would be that kind of investment into your production company. This sounds more like if they had just said, here's $1 million. Go do something. And
but you can do more than one thing then. So then you're not tied to that one product. So Stacey, investing in Stacey, right? So you could decide, somebody could invest in your media property today, right? And then you owe them back and you have appropriated that. But you could decide, I want to start the Stacey Light Switch company. And in the Sam Lesson deal, Sam would get a piece of that because it's related to IoT. And you're freer to start more ventures.
And if she does a job, like if she's like, you know what, this YouTube thing's not working out, I'm going to go work for
apparently they don't get
Amazon.
that. They don't get that.
They don't get that. So if you have a real job, or like
I'm sure the contract is more specific, but what they've said is she could quit, become a lawyer. They wouldn't get any of that. It's like whatever she does as a creator. I'm sure that I would hope the contract would say you're going to keep doing. I don't know. Normally you'd say, and for that we expect you to do YouTube for 5 years.
Right. There's usually some type of
but I don't. Doesn't sound like it though. It sounds like more like they're buying you. They're buying a percentage of you. I don't know. I would feel weird saying I'd like to buy 5% of Aunt Pruitt.
Yeah, that would be.
We don't know what the contract says. We only know that they're trying to market to creators to tell them that this is a good deal. So,
right. Maybe it is more concrete. Yeah.
I think about, again, from the IT perspective, like a CIO saying, you know what, we really need to ramp things up, and goes out and looks for like an infrastructure manager or what have you to help really tighten things up between all of the different properties. And they hire this infrastructure manager, and the infrastructure manager says, I'm going to get this done, but I need you to just sign the checks every month so I can just make it happen regardless of the cost. And a lot of the big tech companies, they're doing that. They just sign the checks because they need everything to run on time and no downtime and all of that good stuff. So they're invested in the vision of the people that they hire, and they just continue to write the checks. It sounds similar to me, but maybe that's still a little old school thinking.
But there's usually, you're working for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it sounds more open-ended than this, but I don't know. Lesson says he thinks he's stumbled into the solution of one of society's longest-standing and most burdensome issues, debt. He says it's so messed up that young people have all the equity value because they're the ones that are going to do the work, provide for the future.
Oh boy,
they have the future potential, but they don't have any of the cash.
So redo scholarships, please.
Yeah.
So this gets close to that. The idea that, you can invest in a college student and they'll go on and do things and give back some of their. This gets into basically what is glorified indentured servitude.
Yes, that's kind of my feeling. But Sam says no. It's the opposite of that.
Or
is it going to say that
patronage? Is it Da Vinci and patronage?
It's not patronage because they're taking 5%.
Right, percent. Yeah.
I mean, the Medicis.
It's still an investment. Even if it's a 30-year payout. Sam says, I'd rather it were permanent because
that's
30 years is too short a term. He gives us an example. What if we'd done this with Jeff Bezos and then he made sure that he never made any money. He just borrows forever, so there's never a return. And because there's never a return, you still don't get paid. He says that's the only thing you have to avoid as an investor. He says, I would rather the deals be forever.
If she starts her own company, that becomes part of, like if she becomes a lawyer and creates her own.
No, I suspect, I don't know. We don't know.
It has to be related.
I think it's related to being a creator. She actually already has YouTube videos, language learning companies. She has a $475 course she offers on how to start a YouTube channel. So she's already monetizing. I would guess that we don't know the contract, but there's verbiage that kind of says in this area, if you do anything in this area, we take 5%. But it said specifically, but not if she quit YouTube or became a lawyer. So.
Okay.
I don't know. It's a very interesting deal, and maybe we should get Sam on and ask him.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah,
that'd be really great
to justify it. He's been on Twitter,
Mr. Howell.
Yeah. It's just a strange. I don't know if I like it or not. I don't. If my son came to me and said, "Hey, I've got this offer," I would say no. I would say don't do it.
Because of the 30-year term, or
I'd say,
he doesn't need money.
Well, he doesn't need money. But I can't give him that much money.
He could grow. He could grow the business faster. Sam. Hank could.
Yeah.
With money.
But I think it's better to.
But I agree. Just psychologically, just realize it's always over your head. You always owe somebody 5% of everything you do.
Yeah. And I feel like it'd be better bootstrapping than taking that money and then owing somebody some unknown amount of money. You're not.
And then you're going to give an agent
because there's no cap on it. It's not like once you've paid back the 1.7, there's no cap. You could give them billions if you made that much
like
money.
An advance,
right.
Then.
So angel investing is a better idea?
Yeah, I mean, if somebody said, I want to invest in a company that you're going to start, Hank, and we'll share the equity out of that, that's sensible.
Mm-hmm. It has a fence around it.
It has a fence around it.
And space. Yeah. But I want to come back to the idea of scholarships. Imagine if a scholarship fund were set up such that if you come out of school and you work in social justice, as my daughter will, and you never make a lot of money, you probably don't pay much back. But you come out of school and you become a lawyer and you make a fortune, you pay a higher proportion back.
Mm-hmm. But those are loans.
A higher interest rate. Pardon me?
But those are loans, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what we do now with student loans, and the poor students thank God I work at a state school, so we cost a lot less, but it's expensive to live in New York. Our students leave with debt.
Right.
And then they go out into a field where they're not going to make a lot of money at first, because that's the way it works. You pay your dues, et cetera.
Right.
And so the debt we leave students with is awful. If we instead said, we're investing in your future, indeed, you're going to have to report your income, figure out how that works too when you get off the clock, but let's just imagine you will and properly. And if you make this much money, you pay back this plus this much of the loan.
Have a sliding scale, if you will.
You don't pay back. Yeah. Based on the success that you get from your degree. And now the problem with that is then you'd only give loans/scholarships to, law students. Mm-hmm. So the university would have to have some role in here to say, no, we want a rounded student body. But there's something in here in what Sam has done.
They've talked
education.
They've talked about doing this for kind of like what AmeriCorps does right now, which is it's not quite that way, because AmeriCorps takes things like if you were a public teacher or a social worker, you get a delay in paying some of your student loans, and I believe some of them
I've never heard
are
of AmeriCorps.
Forgiven. It's a big
it's like the Peace Corps. But it's
a program for kids coming out of college
working
to
in America.
Work in somewhere in America in a job that's necessary. AmeriCorps actually funds journalists.
It's a great idea. I love it. I'd love to see the Peace Corps come back. Well, it's not gone anywhere. It's still there. But I'd love to see it be more.
It's still here.
Yeah, but I'd like to see it be part of I know people are yelling. I'd like to see compulsory public service. Kid gets out of college and owes 2 years to the No?
No.
You don't like that idea? I love that idea.
Did you go into the Army?
No. But I would have gone into the Peace Corps if I'd had to. Look, no one's going to do it unless it's compulsory. Not no one. Most people are not going to do it unless it's compulsory. If everybody
then we wouldn't have Facebook, you fool.
Yes, that's my plan. My evil plan to get rid of Facebook. Let's take a break, and then we're going to Iceland. Speaking of Facebook, we're going to the new metaverse. Wait till you see our Christmas card, by the way.
I can't wait.
Wait till you see our Christmas card. I'm not going to say anything.
Wait.
Our show today brought to you by Red Hat's podcast, Command Line Heroes. I have been a fan of this. I can't believe it. They're in season 8. They do such a great job, and I want to give a lot of credit to the folks, not only at Red Hat, but to Suran Yabarak, who does it, the host. It is all about the stuff we love. The epic true tales of developers, programmers, hackers, geeks, and open source rebels who are revolutionizing the technology landscape. It's a great way to both get a little history and to hear the current trends. You, I think, should listen to all 8 seasons, but the new season 8 is really a kind of a departure a little bit. They're going to tackle one question from every angle. What is a robot? Season 8 is all about robots. And so each episode kind of looks at robots from a different angle, different way. Is a robot a servant? That's the first episode of the season. A factory worker? How about a prosthetic device, a vehicle? Why do we make robots that look like us? Can you trust robots? Or maybe we should be asking, can robots trust us? Science fiction's all about robots, but actually, that science fiction's here. There are robots already serving our needs. Will they develop a mind of their own? Will they turn against us? Will they be the savior of our humanity, or will they be our downfall? Robots in Our Midst, Season 8 of Command Line Heroes. Here's a little bit from the first episode, Robot as Servant.
While making this season, we discovered a robot reality that's pretty removed from the robots we imagined. And yet, all those misguided ideas about what a robot should be actually shaped what robots are. And no robot fiction shaped things more than the story we told ourselves about robotic servants.
The servants that are serving us every day. I think you're going to like it. 8 episodes. Season 8 is out now. Saronya Barak, produced by Red Hat. Search for Command Line Heroes on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you listen to podcasts. And I'll put a link in the show notes at twit.tv/twig, so you can go there that way too. Thanks to Command Line Heroes and Red Hat for their support. Doing great stuff. Command Line Heroes. All right, you told me not to watch this before the show. What am I about to play here?
You're going to play a brilliant thing from Iceland. So all you need to know is it comes from Iceland.
It says, introducing the Icelandverse.
This thing is gold.
Let it play.
You've seen it? Everybody's seen it.
Oh, it's so good.
I'll let it play now.
Hi, and welcome to this very natural setting. Today, I want to talk about a revolutionary approach on how to connect our world without being super weird.
He looks a little
Some
like
said
Mark, I gotta
it's not
say.
possible.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Some said it's out of reach. To them, we say it's already here. Seriously, look, it's right here.
He's looking out the window at
What do we call
ice
this
in
not-so-new
Iceland.
chapter in human connectivity? The Icelandverse. Enhanced, actual reality without silly-looking headsets. In our open-world experience, everything is real.
Can't get out the door, apparently.
And has been for millions of years.
It looks pretty cold, actually.
You don't know what to do with
It's
his hands.
completely immersive.
Oh, he's got
With water
a face.
that's wet. With humans to connect with. You're human, right? Isn't she funny?
He's in a
In the
hot spring with...
Icelandverse, there's real moss you can look at, but please don't touch. It's very delicate. Skies you can see with your eyeballs. Volcanic rocks you can caress. Really big geysers you can observe from a safe distance. Birds you can watch. They're really cute, but a bit stupid. Waterfalls you can stand near, like this one, that one, this one, that one,
Iceland looks
and even
beautiful.
this one.
I'm going.
Horses you can ride,
Iceland.
with hair you can touch. The Icelandverse is a world with possibilities so endless, they'll be here forever. So join us today, or tomorrow, or whenever. We are really easygoing. Now, please enjoy our logo.
The logo is the country of Iceland outlined, inspired by Iceland. So this is a 1.1 million views.
Oh, man.
It's obviously inspired, really not by Iceland, but by Mark Zuckerberg's introduction of the metaverse.
So well done.
Apparently, Zuck has a response.
He does indeed.
Yes.
It's in the middle of that file.
Uh-oh.
When
If you scroll down.
Is it him and the lawyers or just him?
No, it's just
no.
No, okay.
You'll see it.
Okay. Here it is. He says, amazing. I need to make a trip to the Icelandverse soon. Glad you're wearing sunscreen too. Happy emoji. Rolling on the floor, laughing. And the sunscreen actually goes back to his photo in Hawaii of surfing with sunscreen. So,
Right.
yeah. Okay.
That's good stuff.
Okay. And
I was appreciative of the fact that they did say don't touch the moss, because moss is very delicate.
Is that really? You shouldn't touch moss. See, I've learned something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so fragile, actually. The air that surrounds moss is its own like little biome. So if you move moss from like one place to another place, it will suffer, and sometimes it doesn't. A lot of times it dies just because it doesn't have the right.
Wow.
Touchy.
I did not know that.
Like
I've heard don't mess with Texas, but now I know don't mess with the moss.
Don't mess with the moss in Texas either.
The paperless office redux. Apparently, no one can get printers. This is yet another supply. We should have instead of the changelog, we now should have the supply chain nightmare.
It continues.
Unit sales of inkjet and laser printers fell 21% year over year in 2021. Production constraints and logistic issues impeded shipment volumes and led to a 19.5% drop in the inkjet segment. Consumer inkjets, 19.9%. Business models down 16%. Laser market, 27%. I guess.
I think we inherited some HP stock. I wonder what happened to it.
Konica Minolta cut its operating profit forecast by a third due to the tight supply of semiconductors and other materials, compounded by an explosion accident at its toner plants. Oh, no. That's another thing that's happening. These plants are blowing up.
This is just U.S.-based data, or is it worldwide?
No, worldwide.
Worldwide?
Global.
Okay.
Global. Actually, this is Western Europe in particular. I haven't seen the global data.
Because I wonder about just the use of paper day-to-day in business. So much is paperless now and electronic. Who the heck is printing and why? Even contracts are electronic now.
Yeah.
We still print probably, I have to print shipping label. I'm trying to think of all the things we've printed. Mostly contracts, shipping labels. Someone asked me to fax something the other day, and I was like,
well, it's secure.
Kinko's, is that open? Where do I
have to?
Yeah, you go to
I have
Kinko's,
to unplug my corded phone to plug in my fax machine. It's a festival of the past.
Yeah. We don't even have a landline. I couldn't fax from here even if I had a fax machine. I'm
Right, you got to have a landline, yeah.
I am tempted. There's a open source project called Paperless, and an update of it at paperless-ng, which is software that's designed to go with any kind of document scanner. And the idea is just scan everything you can, all the pieces of paper, scan it to a server that you control. Many printers will scan to FTP or Google Drive or whatever. And then you can run this software on it. It will OCR it, turn it into text.
Post office will do that. The post office will do that with your incoming mail.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
And then you now you can use search to find whatever you want. Now you have a whole database of all those documents. And if you need to, you can just print it out. And most people won't care that you took it, scanned it, destroyed the original, and printed it out. So I'm kind of tempted to go the other way, to go paperless. Yeah, get rid of it.
I went to the Columbia University Rare Book and Manuscript Library 2 days ago because I
love those libraries. We had Beinecke at Yale, and I love rare book libraries.
The greatest.
Aren't they great?
So there's a couple of books I could only get there. There's one about the death of the last type foundry company.
Yale has a Gutenberg Bible I used to go and just look at. Yeah. Little knowing that someday I would meet Mr. Gutenberg himself.
Exactly. So I used vFlat. I'm ignoring you. I used vFlat, which is a wonderful app that it's like my wonderful Caesar scanner, which I love.
Do you have a Caesar? Oh, that's so funny. We were talking about that
to you
this weekend. I had forgotten.
About something else when he said vFlat.
So Caesar is the coolest thing ever. Do you bring it to the library with you?
I have two. No, you can't. But I bring books home, and then the Caesar I can use.
Libraries should allow you to bring a Caesar in. It looks like a desk lamp.
It really does. It's minor, but when you're in this, but it's the greatest thing. There's some that are simpler and cheaper than that.
But this is $500. That's less than a phone.
Oh, it's much cheaper. No, it's much cheaper than that.
Really?
If you go to the Caesar, like 150 or something.
I just like the idea that this sits there like a desk lamp. It's got built-in lights. It senses the page turn, so you can go a page every 1.5 seconds. So you just turn the whole book. It flattens it out. and
I've
turns
done
it into
tons of this.
And it does OCR.
Tons and tons.
Oh, I think this is so cool.
There are books I can only get from the New York Public Library that are really expensive, $250, $300 academic books that I needed for my Gutenberg research. And so the Caesar is a godsend. So vFlat does the same flattening of the page and everything from the phone. And so it flattens the page. And then
so can you take out your phone at these libraries and take pictures?
Oh, yeah. In fact, they encourage you to. They say, don't spend too much time here. Because they reopened the library in November. I think we're in November now. So just now from pandemic.
Sorry, why did they say
luckily got in the
so
first day.
Why are they saying don't spend so much time there?
Because they want to get more people in to see more things. Oh. So they have a limited number of desks and a limited number of documents. And so I signed up for an hour or 2 hours. And I found out that they're sold out through the end of the year. I was lucky to get in. And so I just take picture after picture after picture with vFlat and then mark it all. And it makes a PDF of the whole thing, send it to myself and print it out. And I come home and it was beautiful.
Oh, so you're right. Here's the Kickstarter.
Yes.
This was $89 bucks.
Caesar,
CZUR.com.
They are great. The Shine Ultra I have. Yeah, I actually got two of them because I wanted one for my office so I could go to the NYPL, get a book over to the office, and scan them there.
So, but you can take a picture with this vFlat software, and I guess with a good Pixel 6 phone, even though your poor wrists would be so floppy and heavy, you could get a pretty good picture, and then the V. Does the V?
That needs to be your pop size.
Is vFlat on the phone? Is it phone software or is it?
Yeah. It's great.
Oh yeah, vFlat scan.
Yeah,
nice.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So Caesar, I recommend highly, highly, highly. If you're going to do
it sounds like with vFlat, you don't really need it.
No, because if you want to do 100 pages,
you don't want to hold because your wrist would.
The Caesar is so smart, as you say, it knows when you turn the page.
Yeah.
It also has a foot pedal if you want that.
Oh wow!
I just stomped my foot.
That would be awesome.
And if you want to stand over it, the Caesar has a little TV screen on the top, so you can see what it's taking a picture of.
Oh, that's so cool.
But you can also do that on the big screen. It's the only thing the Caesar should be is it should come with a memory card, so you don't need a laptop. And I can't use it. I can only use it with the Mac you gave me for the show. I can't use it with my Chromebook.
Oh, that's
the only problem with it. But thank you for the Mac.
I do think that libraries should just let you scan the dang thing. I guess they may feel like that violates their agreement with the publishers.
No, it's not that.
They may have
it's
things.
Upset. It's too much plugged in stuff. Sorry, Stacey. Go ahead.
Oh, the power. Oh, all right.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Let me just scan this Leonard Tao professor for journalistic innovation because I keep losing.
You keep losing the script.
Yeah. Too close to document. There we go. All right. Look at that. Turns it into text automatically. Very cool.
That's what I do with Adobe Sign and Scan.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to do this now. I mean, these devices are so smart.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look at the text, see if I got it right. The Leonard Tao Professor for Journalistic Innovation at the Craig Newmark. It even has a little musical note next to it.
Craig
Newmark Graduate School. Look, it did a perfect job. Look at that.
Did you use the character recognition?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just pressed the button.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I totally thought you were talking about something else with vFlat. There's photography gear called vFlats for setting up bounce.
And
lighting.
can't you do this with just the camera built in to the phone?
It won't regularize the curve of the book.
Right.
And it won't do character recognition.
Yeah, it will.
It'll do the OCR.
lens?
It just
That's
doesn't
the lens
flatten it
thing.
out.
Lens, yeah.
Yeah.
But also being able to just mark a bunch of pages, turn it into a PDF.
No, that's cool. That's vFlat.
Yeah.
All right.
vFlat's very good.
You know what you don't want to get? You'd be glad. How do you like your Pixel Buds? Did you send those back? Are you still in?
Here's the other thing.
The Andy Rooney of Twig. Yeah.
Because of Jason Howell, I bought a pair, which they're fine. Occasionally they'll cut out a little bit. I have to put them in my front pocket and my back pocket because apparently I have ass steel that keeps the signal from going through. Whatever. Fine. At least they work most of the time. So then I buy the phone and I ended up getting a second pair. I figured
the
I'd give it to somebody
freebies.
or whatever.
Right.
The freebie. But then when I returned the phone, of course, it was returned. It said, "Oh, it's too late to return the Pixel Buds because they came earlier than your phone."
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to return the phone now, so Max Nix. But yeah, since you mentioned it, I was just about that.
Well,
too.
just be glad you didn't get the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro. There's quite an extensive piece in Android Central, Chris Weedle writing, and a lot of people confirming, and Samsung even kind of by the back door confirming, they're causing ear infections.
Oh, my Lord.
We're not sure why. Perhaps it's the nickel in the contacts. We know nickel can cause problems. Perhaps it's this new material, the new plastic they're using, acrylate. But there's something about these. And this poor guy, never had an ear infection in his life. I don't know, I'd never heard of this. He says, when I get any earbuds, I clean them out of the box.
I've never done that.
Never done that. I just stick them right in
Never
here.
done that.
I assume they're sterile when they're in the
Like,
box.
He says properly cleaning headphones and earphones out of the box or after use can help you prevent residual germs and other foreign matter from manufacturing getting in your ear. So he was a little bit more careful than we are.
Clearly.
He wore them for 15 to 20 minutes. The same evening, my ears were a little itchy.
That's all?
He got, wait a minute, yeah, 50 ear infection. He took them out, went away, after treatment. He actually went to the doctor eventually. Said, maybe, is it the earbuds? Let me just put it in one ear, do some phone calls. Got the infection in one ear. Now, if you're at all squeamish, close your eyes because I'm going to show what his ears looked like. This is before, and this is after. They were so
Yikes.
swollen. The ear doctor had to wait to look into his ear. It's over, Jeff. You can look. And many others are starting to report this. So a Samsung may have an issue.
Okay, if we
I got
know
infection.
that nickel causes infections,
But those
for
are on
people,
the contacts. That's just little. I don't
Yeah,
know.
nickel is an allergic dermatitis issue for
Right.
like 5% of the population.
Right. I don't know.
Why would they even go that route?
Well, because it's cheap, available, and it's a common thing. So what
It's a
they do now
conductor.
mostly is just tell people, "Hey, this has."
But it's
nickel
just
in it."
this. It's just this
Yeah.
little,
The
dot. there.
peanut of metals.
So anyway, I don't know. I just thought I'd mention this. And I'm sure there are many, many people using these. I love the old Galaxy Buds. They were great. In fact, I was considering getting the Pro, but now I might wait and see what Samsung.
I got an
does about
infection
this.
because I was going out constantly in the pandemic
Yeah.
and doing calls and stuff. So I finally stopped using
Wearing
the
them too
time I
long.
use
Yeah.
This is the show. Otherwise, I use the computer speaker.
It reminds me of the Steve Martin movie, The Jerk, when he invented the glasses holders
Yes.
that made it very easy to put your glasses on and take off. But what he didn't realize is it was going to make people cross-eyed because they'd be staring at them. I feel like we just all kind of said, yeah, put the headphones in your ear. What could possibly go wrong? Let's just all stick our headphones in our ear. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea. I don't know.
I wonder if I've actually had some sort of infection because just recently my left ear was having some issues.
There you go. There you go.
Because I wear these earbuds a lot throughout the day, just listening to podcasts and books and whatnot, and maybe that's what it was. I thought someone had cut me in my sleep in my ear because I wouldn't put it past a certain.
little paranoid, are we there, Dad? Jeez.
What'd you do to Queen Pruitt? That's the question we need to be asking.
I didn't say it was Queen Pruitt.
Oh, okay.
You said that. I didn't.
Quentin
coming after me next.
Tarantino, handwritten script for Pulp Fiction. He is going to auction it off as an NFT. The NFT is pitched as secret, means its contents will be viewable exclusively by the owner. You will get excerpts from Tarantino's original handwritten script for the film, accompanied by commentary. Miramax, company that made the film, said, "Whoa, hold on there." Tuesday, they filed a copyright infringement.
I was gonna say, don't they want their cut?
Well, and Tarantino's lawyer said Miramax is wrong, plain and simple. He has the right to sell NFTs of his handwritten script for Pulp Fiction, and this ham-fisted attempt to prevent him from doing so will fail. So apparently it's in his contract.
I don't know.
That he could do that.
Seems like a pretty tight line to walk.
Yeah. Miramax attorney accused Tarantino's team of a deliberate, premeditated short-term money grab. Oh, God. I actually would buy that NFT, but I'm sure it'll be way out of my price range. I think that's a really cool NFT. Anyway, the suit is on in the Central District of California. Shall we do a Google changelog here?
Already? Oh, wow.
Play the horns. Oh, come on. Last week's show was 3 hours. Do it.
It was.
I was having so much fun. Play the horns.
He's hurt. He's still hurt. Wants to get rid of us.
changelog.
No, I'm not saying we have to stop the show. I'm just
It's okay,
let's get this out
floppy
of the way.
wrists. Google says it's improving the fingerprint scanner performance. Waffle joint with a Pixel 6. I'm sorry. That's mean. You shouldn't make fun of the handicap. That's so mean. I'm sorry. It's not your fault that you have floppy wrists.
You know what? I just enjoyed a delicious piece of pumpkin pie, and I was feeling guilty, but now
Were you
I'm
able to hold it in your hand, or did you have to have some help?
Come closer. Let me use my hand. And I'll just
I think she could handle a chiffon pie in her wrist, but anything.
Pumpkin's pretty heavy. Yeah,
it's pretty heavy.
it's dense.
Oh, but I bet it was good. I'm jealous now.
It was delicious.
Whipped
it was
cream?
still slightly warm with whipped cream.
Google has
My
rolled
daughter
out
made it.
Oh, she made it. That's nice. So it had just come out of the oven?
homesick.
She's
Yeah.
homesick.
Well, it cooled enough.
And she's
but,
making
yeah.
pie. Some might say she's not sick enough.
Yeah, I kind of am getting that.
Watched
feeling.
Succession last week. Yeah, a week before last.
I love Succession. I'm so glad it's back. So back to the Google changelog. A bunch of ADD
We're going to stretch
people
this
here.
sucker out
We
anyway.
are so easily distracted. The update is 15 megabytes. It's been confirmed in a post on the Google support page, which vaguely notes it includes minor bug fixes and some fingerprint sensor performance improvements for Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro. Now, when I read this, I checked. I had an update on my Google Fi Pixel 6 Pro. Did the update. I wasn't having problems in the first place. I didn't notice any change in the scanner's performance.
Pushing
Apparently,
mine now.
I'm not
14
alone.
megabytes.
I'll be very curious. It could be just Dieter Bohn said it's not so much faster or more accurate, but even best case, it's still slower than an S20. So, yeah. There you go. It started rolling out today. Will continue over the next week, and you got it.
So is it just spin? If it's not any faster or more accurate, it's just spin talk from Google?
Well, how could you fix it in software if it's slow? Well, maybe there is some software that takes some time, or maybe they've improved I don't know.
I'm assuming it's like memory allocation or something to make it faster. Who knows?
Who knows?
They could have changed like the encryption scheme. Didn't they say there was some sort of encryption issue?
They said they implied that it was slowing down for security reasons. It wanted to be more accurate or something. Anyway, we'll see and let us know. And if chat room, if you've applied it, let me know if you see a distance.
I don't have it yet.
Yeah. Scooter X said he thinks it was just placebo effect.
Right. That's
We'll
what it
see.
sounds like.
Yeah. Google's latest map features could help you avoid holiday shopping crowds. If you, I've thought this, I didn't think this was new, but I guess it is new. Google will now tell you how busy a place is.
Yeah, it's not
Seeing
just
it on the
it's
map is
traffic,
new.
It's people.
Seeing the map is new. Okay.
Because like normally if you go to like a restaurant's page and you Google it, you'll see like in the little info card, you'll see some of them.
You
like
get a
live
graph.
view.
You get a graph of the busiest times and all that.
But if they show it on the map, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. Avoid the crowds.
Be like,
A new feature that combines live busyness trends to help you instantly spot when a neighborhood or part of town is near or at its busiest. So if you're not a fan of crowds, you can avoid that, a holiday fair, something like that. Want more info? Tap on a neighborhood to see how busy it is at different times of days. We've seen that along with restaurants, shops, recreational places like museums. So this is the busyness graph.
Google says it's thinking about the introverts. That's awesome.
Yeah, you know, it figures
thanks,
that
Google.
the introverts would be best served by Google, right? You'll be able to navigate malls, airports, and transit stations in a snap. This is something Google's been working on for some time, is indoor navigation. There's also a directory tab now, and that's expanding. So, and that's iOS and Android. So you'll be able to tap the directory tab when you're in a place and see more about what's in that place, which is pretty cool. And holiday hosts can save time on grocery shopping. It's pickup with Google Maps. First launched in Portland with select Fred Meyer's stores. Once you place your order from the retailer, pickup with Google Maps lets you track your order status, share your ETA, let the store know you're there, all from within the app. It now includes more Kroger family stores like Kroger's, Fry's, Ralph's, and Mariano's. 2,000 store locations, more than 30 states across the U.S. People use.
Is it actually? I mean,
it's so it's for a grocery store that offers pickup, right?
I'm just thinking that even if it does offer pickup, the grocery store employees who are responsible for like gathering stuff and pulling it out to your car, they may be kind of like not participating.
But when they're done, it'll tell you they've got your packages, so then you can go.
Oh, okay. I'm just like, I don't think they care if I show up. They're like, oh, that lady's been waiting for 10 minutes.
People, according to Google, people who use pickup with Google Maps typically wait less than 5 minutes for their groceries. So,
wow.
That's in the change log, so it must be true.
There we go.
Google Meet calls hosted by premium Workspace tiers can now host up to 500 participants.
Sure.
And I'm worried about this one. Did you write this, Ant? Slow week, y'all.
No.
maybe
I know that y'all is a dead giveaway, but it's not.
It must be. You know what it is? It's ray gun posing, as Ant Pruitt.
Oh, okay.
Jason Howell says Android TV apps can now be remotely installed from your phone via a new Play Store feature. Okay. And finally, Google Camera 8.4. It's not out yet. It's coming out soon. Brings timer light, disabling exposure controls, and more to older Pixel phones. So this is not a benefit so much to the Pixel 6. These already are here for Pixel 6, but this is what...
So Stacey can get it on her Pixel 2.
Yeah, it's one of the things that Google does really well, which is slowly, trickling all the features in the flagship phones down to the earlier phones. The APK is just rolling out now, not widely rolled out, but you should be getting a new camera soon. Look for Camera 8.4, and that, my friends, is the Google changelog.
Efficient.
See, a very efficient changelog.
Yeah, that was so efficient. I don't even know what to do with myself. I couldn't even buy new slippers. I wasn't shopping for slippers this time.
We got a lot of feedback about those slippers.
Yeah, people really identified with that. And everybody had their own favorites, and yeah, it's good. I actually got some good shopping ideas. Twitter has bought
You should call LL Bean and be like, hey.
We got some research for you, man. I think I've used Threader for a long time. It allowed you to send a tweet storm to Threader. They thread it in the app. You could easily read it. Twitter has bought them.
Ooh, can it make Twitter blue better?
Yeah.
Makes sense, right?
Not bad.
Yeah,
I'm down for it.
That's actually pretty awesome.
Y'all still digging Twitter blue a week later?
Yes.
Yeah. I've used my $3 worth already.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
For sure.
That's how I felt during the show.
I like that news. I do like that news feature. I think that's really good. I missed Nuzzles.
And I just did the threading thing, the prettier threads for a Cory Doctorow thread, because, he does a lot of threads that are worthwhile. And that was nice. And I liked how it gave credit for everybody. I thought it was a good experience.
I haven't tried that yet. I do threads on Friday nights at the ball game so the family can see what's going on.
Oh, that's neat.
But it's not pretty. Not at all.
There's a bunch of Twitter stories, but I don't think any of these are that interesting. According to Pew, 42% of U.S. readers read Twitter primarily for entertainment, 20% for news. 1/3 of users visit Twitter less than once a week, 2/3 at least weekly.
I went berserk on a headline on one version of the story that, not many people are on Twitter. But it's constantly a mass media way to look at it. Like everybody has to be there.
Right.
And then it becomes one thing. No, there's individuals there. It's like saying, not everybody's in my town, so the town might as well
Right.
die.
We're not going for ratings here, folks. This ain't Seinfeld. Yeah. Fair enough.
I mean, I'm curious about the API because Twitter, of course, went with an API, then went away. Jack is talking about the distributed world. It's interesting. There was a Washington Post column saying, I'd pay for Twitter if it did this. And I tweeted and saying, what you want is what Jack's going to do with Blue Sky, which is to create structure. And Jack came back in and said, exactly, on Twitter.
Wow. No wonder you like Twitter. You get engagement from the boss.
From the boss.
Yeah, the boss. Because this idea that what I said was the speech layer becomes the commodity layer, and the value add becomes where you do things. So I wonder about the Twitter API's distributed future, said The Verge. I'm not sure what's really that different, but if they're going back to, it'd be interesting to see Twitter returning to a strong API, what people could build on top of it. Is at the beginning of Blue Sky, in essence.
So here's the past meet in the future. There are 13 surviving copies of the United States Constitution's original 1787 print run. One of them is going up for sale at Sotheby's tomorrow. There
As an
is,
NFT?
Well, that's the tie-in. You're getting the idea. Do you know what a DAO is? A decentralized autonomous organization. These are created using crypto-based systems, most commonly Ethereum. There is a Constitution DAO, a consortium assembling a bid for this Constitution. Now, I don't know who will get it. They are up to $30 million in this DAO. They're going for $35 million. Wow.
And then they'll buy the actual thing and find an appropriate place to display it.
Well, that's the question.
They're not
what
just
happens?
buying an ETF, they're buying the thing.
Yeah, what happens to the
It's
thing?
a contribution.
Yeah, but who gets the thing?
The organization, the DAO, will find, hey, CUNY would be a fine place to put it.
Yeah.
A place to display the actual.
The organizers say, quote, they intend to put the Constitution in the hands of the people.
Okay.
They say they'll place the document out for public view with the help of an esteemed partner, unnamed, if their bid succeeds. Now, of course, you can go to the National Archives, where...
Well, there you see the handwritten one. This is one of the original, the first run of the printing that night.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. Is this Web 3? I think this is kind of like Web 3. We have not talked about Web 3. So, should we?
What's Web 3, sir?
That's a good question. Stacey?
I'm not ready. I did not read all. I just was like, you know what? No, not today, Satan. And by today, I meant last week when all the stuff came out.
No. I think it's hubris to think that we ever even hit Web 2. Gutenberg years, 1475, we're at Web still .00001. We don't know what this thing is.
So here at Ethereum.org is a practical comparison of Web 2 versus Web 3. On Web 2, Twitter can censor any account or tweet. On Web 3 tweets would be uncensorable because control is decentralized. It's kind of like that.
Just what we need.
Blue Sky. Well, but that's what the Twitter Blue Sky is, right?
Well, if it were on blockchain, really you couldn't get rid of it. But no, I don't. Yeah, I guess in a distributed world. Yeah, true.
In Web 2, payment services can decide not to allow payments for certain types of work. See OnlyFans. Web 3 payment apps require no personal data and cannot prevent payments. And
look at both those things under the aegis of we got to get rid of all this evil stuff on the internet.
Ransomware.
Hard to get rid of.
Well, it's good for ransomware.
Yep.
Servers in Web 2, servers for gig economy apps could go down and affect worker income. Happens all the time. Web 3 servers can't go down because they use Ethereum, a decentralized network of thousands of computers, as their back end. The fundamental unit of Web 3 is the DApp, the distributed application. The idea is to provide a little tap will do you. Very nice. That's good. Only you and I got it, but that's good.
Yeah, exactly. Stacey, do you have any idea what we're talking about, Ant?
I do.
Isn't that like a hair cream?
It was an
or
old
something?
commercial.
Yeah. Real cream.
I'll just give you a little flavor of what we're talking about here.
Yep. I remember that.
Oops. Now there's a happy accident. An accident that could lead to opportunity. But then he had to take off his hat.
Oh, no. Hat hair.
Poor God. Dry, lifeless hair can take the fun out of your life, but you can put it back with Brill Cream. With Brill Cream, a little dab'll do you. Watch Brill Cream put life in dry hair and fun back into your life. Brill Cream gives your hair that look.
Now our hands all greasy.
Disturbingly healthy, so masculine. What?
It's so masculine.
A little dabble do ya, Brill Cream, you look so debonair. Brill Cream, the gals will all pursue ya. They love to get their fingers in your hair.
So as the only woman on this show, do you think that's what we're lacking here?
Word has no words.
A little dapple do ya.
I'm good.
Okay.
No comment.
Yeah.
No comment.
Yeah.
Although you did call me Floppy Wrists. Maybe I should.
You should. This is your opportunity. What greasy hair? What do you want to say? Go ahead. So it's a decentralized net that is backed up by blockchain, basically, I guess. And I don't mind the idea. I think it's probably a good idea. We have to get on and talk about it. Is our Mr. Web the
Chris
Indie
Dixon?
Web, Mr. Indie Web.
Oh, Kevin Marks.
Yeah.
Mr. Yeah, he has thoughts. I'll read it eventually. I just was waiting for.
It's kind of one of those, it's another one of those things. Anyway,
but
watch tomorrow the Sotheby's auction to see if the Ethereum DAO gets the Constitution DAO.
Is the idea of Web3 something that normals will be able to get and understand?
Well, in a way, you already have access to that. There's some browsers like Brave that support a technology called IPFS, which is a IP-based file system that's distributed. Mm-hmm. And so stuff that's living on IPFS, the interplanetary file system, doesn't live any one spot, can live everywhere, and so has some of the same benefits. I think it's kind of a first attempt at Web3, IPFS. And so if you have a Brave browser, you can go to an IPFS site or you could see it, and it exists.
Yeah, I run Brave right now.
So you actually, one of the things you may be, unless you've turned it off, you may actually be hosting some IPFS content.
Okay. Because
you're running Brave.
You did miss a big, important, I think, if I may be so bold in this non-democracy, dictator, important.
Careful now.
Tell me.
The first one, because one of the things that drives some of us nuts about Twitter is you read a tweet, then you go off to do it at once, which is to read the article, then you come back and then it moves all the tweets. And you can't find anything.
I have mixed feelings. I want you to explain this to me, because on the one hand, usually in TweetDeck, I'll turn on the feature where it's auto scrolling. So I like it. It's like a ticker. Mm-hmm. But is that what this is?
So on the Twitter app itself and on the web, it would just suddenly refresh. Yeah. And you were in the middle of reading something.
Or I don't like that. No.
So now you have to, which I've wanted for ages. Thank you, Jack. I wanted to explicitly say, now refresh the top. So now it says, lots of new tweets above. You want to, go there? Yes. Click there. Boom. You go up and it's there. So you're in control. It didn't
used to do that. That's terrible.
I looked at it. I've never had
so
that.
So it would just refresh on you and disappear.
I never had that issue.
Instagram did that, but Twitter never did that. But Instagram does
Twitter does that
all the time, and it's annoying.
Maybe it does it on my phone, but not on the web, or vice versa.
It's kind of a bug. I think that's a bad thing, and I'm glad they took it out. Because that's just a bad user experience for content you're reading to disappear.
Yeah.
Terrible experience.
So what are you doing reading the articles, Jeff?
I put that one in there. By the way, I found a little trick.
On Twitter.
Very minor. If you notice the things in the rundown that have a space in front of them, is because if you do that and then you cut and paste the headline in, it'll pick up the style of the spreadsheet. I used to spend all this time trying to change the font and change the style.
Really?
Do that. If you just put the space in first, or anything in first, type in first, and then paste the headline in, it fits in the format. It's changed my Twitter.
Very nice.
Oh, nice little hack, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very nice for rundowns. Nobody else in the world could possibly care about this, but on a rundown world.
You're right. Nobody else would.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
He's excited. I know he is.
Substack says it has, this is actually surprising, more than 1 million paid subscriptions. This was also part of the revolution. Twitter bought a newsletter company, Review, Review.js. I think a lot of people are thinking that the next big thing is newsletters, which I find difficult to understand.
Yep, I agree. There's too many already.
Yeah. But 1 million paid subscribers, and it tends to be like $5, right? Top 10 writers on Substack collectively generate $20 million in annual revenue.
Wow.
That's up from last year's $7 million.
That's great.
Yeah. So
that's not all. So Substack's taking part of that, or is that the revenue generated for Substack?
Oh, that's a good question.
I
think that's gross.
I bet that's gross.
Yeah.
And Substack takes some portion of it. How much does Substack take? Not very much, right?
10 or 15? I think it's 10.
It's not a huge amount. It's a small amount, which is good. Meanwhile, big media strikes back at Substack. This is an Axios story. Pressure from new publishing platforms has finally pushed newsrooms, see Jeff Jarvis, to create programs that give writers more pay, autonomy, and flexibility. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Else Sam Lessin will come and give you $1.7 million.
Yeah. Okay. The Atlantic rolled out its newsletter program. In fact, didn't they, who did they bring in? Somebody, they brought in some
Yeah, they
big names.
did.
I can't remember.
You know, the Atlantic's, I subscribed to the Atlantic for a year, but it's a case of too much.
Yeah. It's a lot of content.
Way too much of this. So what they've done is they've added more and more.
Content. New York Times has opinion newsletters behind its paywall.
Ugh,
Puck,
no thanks.
a newsletter-based startup that focuses on covering people in power.
Some really smart people there. But Puck, I might subscribe to.
Oh.
Julia Ioffe. Who else is Puck? There were some really good writers there.
I used to.
Orders.
Yeah, Puck is a good name.
It is.
Puck.news.
A legendary name.
Yeah. I used to, wasn't there a Puck magazine? I used to subscribe.
There was Suck magazine.
Suck. That's right. That was
just thinking
that
about
was
the other
Web
day.
1.0. Yeah, that was the very early web. Suck.
Anna Marie Cox was there.
Yep.
Joey Anuff.
Oh, I remember that. That is
Johnson.
that is a long time ago.
Remember that?
I was on the board of the company that acquired Suck Plastic. May it rest in peace.
Wow. I would guess that Suck is probably on the Internet Archives. Remember the motto: "A fish, a barrel, and a smoking gun."
Yeah, that was a great. It was just a great.
Yeah. I miss that kind of snark, honestly.
Yeah, I did too.
The Register still sort of does
Cox was
Rogers Cadenhead wrote for it. Wow, I miss that. Carl Steadman. Was he the Carl Steadman who illustrated was that the Steadman who illustrated the Hunter S. Thompson novels?
I don't know.
Anyway, it's all dead links all the way down, unfortunately.
It is nothing's preserved.
No, I think it's a different Steadman.
Not
but
even
anyway,
the Wayback Machine.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't looked there. Yeah, J.P. Morgan sues Tesla after for $162 million after Elon's tweets.
How soon do you think this will be resolved?
Their share deal.
Because this is going on from 2018 or something like that.
This goes back to the tweets when they said that he was going to take it private, right?
Yeah, 2018.
So the SEC slapped him on the wrist, but now the real punishment comes. If Tesla's share price... Wow. It's unusual for a Wall Street bank to sue such a high-profile client.
But it's only $162 million, right? So that's why I'm like, how long will this last? Because they fart $162 million.
Oh, wait. So this is more complicated. There's an options agreement. If Tesla's share price was at or above the strike price of $560 on the day the warrants expired, June or July 2021, it would owe J.P. Morgan the difference between the share price on that date and $560. So the stock was worth more than $600 by June. So it would have been that $40 difference per share.
Per share.
But in addition, they want $162 million.
Oh,
in addition, because of Elon's
So that's a lot of money.
errant tweet that he might take Tesla private at $420. Get it? Mm-hmm. $420 a share.
Okay.
Oh, right.
I misread that.
Anyway,
that's a lot of money. That's not just $162
it could be a
million.
lot. Could be a lot of money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask you an utterly unrelated question?
Yes.
Do you still use your Remarkable?
I love my Remarkable, and I lent it to some guy named Micah Sargent, and it's never been seen again.
Who the heck is that?
No, Micah asked me the same question. Do you love it? I'm thinking of getting it. And I said, I would love it more if I were more prone to taking handwritten notes, because that's what it's really for, is handwritten notes. Mm-hmm. And I just don't. So he said, well, I do all the time. I said, well, take it, see if you like it. And that's the last time.
And the rest is history.
Yeah. I just never used, I love the Remarkable, yes. And I didn't have the problems you did, Jeff, of getting into my phone or my computer. It was very easy to do that. Yeah, I thought it was great. But again, I'm not probably the wrong market, so I don't know. Maybe, and you're much more the right market for it.
And I think you should ask Leo if he likes his coffee machine. Maybe he'll lend it to you.
What are your thoughts on this coffee machine?
I haven't used it in a while. Why don't you borrow it and see if you like it? By the way, Elon is not done tweeting. This is in his response to the JP Morgan lawsuit.
Oh, no.
And this was on the 14th. This was 2 days ago.
Oh, no.
Due to inflation, 420 has gone up by 69.
Oh, man. Just trolling.
He's the guy. He's like a 12-year-old.
But he gets away with it. He's getting away with it.
I think people have soured on him quite a bit.
But
he's being sued by JP Morgan, and I bet many legitimate. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know. Never mind.
All right, let's take a break and come back with our picks of the week. How about that? We don't want a 3-hour episode. Princess Floppy Wrists would not be happy.
Oh, Lord.
Floppy Wrists.
I'm just teasing you. I am not.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't mean to be mean at all.
I want that in a T-shirt.
I think you're hysterical.
I accept my new name.
Good, thank you.
Good Lord.
Take it in the spirit which it's intended with this.
Leo's like,
affectionate.
I should not have said that.
I absolutely should not have said that, but it was pretty funny, so I did. I always err on the side of funny. Picks coming up in just a bit. Our show today brought to you by Stripe. Ant, you're the community manager of Club Twit. One of the decisions we made that really was the right decision was to use Stripe for our payment platform. And I can heartily recommend, and I know because if it weren't a great payment platform, my wife would let me know because she would have to deal with it. Leaders of adaptive businesses choose Stripe as their payments platform. Why? Because with Stripe, businesses can easily optimize their payment infrastructure, simplify their expansion plans, create new revenue streams, all to help them grow and initiate change rather than having to react to it. I think Stripe is amazing. So I'm not alone. Lots of people use Stripe, Shopify, Postmates, Twilio. And let me give you an example. One thing, Stripe does so many things well. There's one thing, though, that can make a huge difference, the authorization rates. So Twilio was using Stripe and was able to, because of Stripe, increase its authorization rates by 10%. They did an A/B test. They actually were testing other global payment processors. Stripe did the same thing for Postmates. They increased their authorization rates, $70 million in additional revenue. That's what a big difference. Rejected credit cards is one big way that companies lose money. Stripe is better, just better. We launched Club Twit this year using Stripe. It's seamless in accepting payments and issuing refunds. We couldn't be happier. In fact, one of the things we love about it is it works in 135 different currencies and payment methods. So it's very flexible. We have listeners all over the world. They can all use Stripe. Lets us focus on our business, producing shows like this, while Stripe handles the business of payments and money movement. It's just really great. And I love this feature. I know Lisa does. Toggle the little switch that turns on Stripe Climate. You can direct a fraction of your revenue to help scale emerging carbon removal technologies in just a few clicks. We've been looking for easy ways to do that, and this is one way we do it, and it's just great. So whether you're an online or in-person retailer or software platform or marketplace, or like us, a subscriptions business, go to stripe.com to learn more about how Stripe could support your business today. STRIPE. Stripe.com. You use it, I guarantee you, if you buy stuff online, you use it every single day. I know I do. And I'm always happy when I see Stripe. I think this is one of the reasons Stripe works well, because your customers go, yeah, Stripe, I trust it. Stripe.com to learn more and get started today. We trust it. We love it. You should too. Stripe.com. Stacey Higginbotham.
Today's Stacey thing is the Mozilla Privacy Not Included list. And I did not put the link in. So every year for the last 5 years, Mozilla puts out the Privacy Not Included list, which is basically just a list of gadgets and are they creepy?
We did this last year. I remember this. Yes. Yes.
So basically the least creepy, well, they've done so many more, they've let like 147 products and services, and it's pretty awesome.
So before you buy or use, you can see how they rate in privacy.
So good behaving privacy things. In the smart home, Eufy has some devices, especially those with local storage, Netamo, I don't know how do you say it. Garmin is pretty good. The fitness tracking world.
Amazon Ring drone camera privacy not so good on that. What a surprise!
Not awesome. But like your iRobot Roomba's pretty good. Apple HomePod Mini,
interesting,
pretty good.
Interesting.
So go through this. It's fun. And what I didn't know, and I have this week on the show, I'll tell you, I have the lead researcher from this, Jen Caltritter, on the show. And she was explaining that the worst device that she had discovered this year was the Nordic Track skier device, because not only do they take your data, do they use it to market to you, but they also use it to like sell it to other people.
Nordic Track's privacy policy, they say, is an exercise in awful.
So it just, I always like drawing attention to this because I think they evaluate both privacy, but they also evaluate basic security.
This is really good. There's 3 tabs: privacy, security, and AI. And so this is really
a little
good.
Fuzzy, but
this is really good. Yeah, a lot of things I use, including my Peloton bike, are on this list. So I'm gonna.
And I didn't realize this, but the woman who does it, Jen, who does this, she's a gadget head. We spent like forever talking about robots and the gadgets she uses and likes. So this is not just and you can kind of tell, like, the person who did this is not just like, she evaluates things based on what they offer. Like, hey, if you give up a lot of data, what do you get in return? So I thought that was actually kind of nice, because a lot of times you get these things written by people who are like, I will not share my data with anyone, they're just not realistic.
Yeah. This is good to know. And maybe you want to put your Peloton in a sealed room instead of listening to your conversations. Yeah, this is really interesting stuff. Foundation.mozilla.org. Actually, if you just Google, as I did, Mozilla Privacy Not Included, you will find the guide. Good idea. Thank you.
Stacey doesn't put links in.
Because she's all about privacy.
It hurt her wrist. Give her a break.
Yes, my wrists are too floppy for putting in links.
It just wouldn't work. Now I know why you type the way you do. All the weight comes down on the keyboard.
It's like a seal, actually. It's like just
yes.
I mean, she punishes a keyboard.
No.
Just wherever the fingers fall, that's what I'll type. That's it.
Jeff, number of the week, my friend.
I am so thrilled about this one. I am so happy about this one. I get to do a gadget and a little bit of history, too. The Logitech Pop Keys keyboard has programmable emoji keys.
And you can pop them off, I guess.
You can pop them off and put on different emojis.
Oh,
I hate that keyboard so much.
It's really ugly.
It's ugly.
No, I meant like the Logitech.
It's supposed to be.
those particular Logitech keyboards, I freaking hate them. They're so uncomfortable to type on. But okay, go on.
I know, but this is still a great idea. And what it says is, now because my haughty
look, it's got a, instead of remember on the old IBM PCs, they had a function key row on the right? Now you've got an emoji key row.
That's the point. It's emojis.
Yeah. I love it.
That's awesome.
So what it says, too, is that emojis are a new alphabet.
Yeah.
The whole entire
totally
watch out
agree.
here,
Yeah.
Gutenberg age,
Gutenberg.
was all about the alphabet that we had and everything that worked toward. The book that I went to Columbia to read was about the last type founder in America that made alphabets. And then came PostScript, right, which just turns letters into shapes, and everything was kind of the same. And then come emojis and memes, which become new alphabets, new structures for expression. And so now they get honor next to the alphabet. I love this.
It's also interesting that this, which is the most industrial era device for data entry, has become now a fashion item. I also wonder if 5 emoji keys is enough. I really
no. This is a first step.
I need more. I really need.
You need like the numeric keypad. Hey Jeff, I was going to tell you about this because I'm reading it now and it's pretty good. And this feels like something you might be interested in. And it's called The Writing of the Gods: The Race to Decode the Rosetta Stone.
Ooh.
When you start to talk,
I heard about that. Was it good?
Ooh.
Yeah, it's really good. It's surprisingly interesting. I don't want to give too much away, but it's about the race to figure out what it meant and decode it, and it's really well written. It's really engaging, and y'all should.
You can
get
see
it
the
on your
Rosetta Stone in the British Museum, and it's really amazing because it unlocked these ancient languages. Because I can't remember what it was, Sumerian and hieroglyphics, and I can't remember, but I think it was 3 or 4 languages, the same thing in each language. And knowing one, you could we were able to uncode. Decipher.
Yeah, and there's a lot of it. I mean, there's a lot. Like I think of you, Jeff, with like Gutenberg on like just the subject of writing, like and what it means to people and how it develops and what jobs it needs to perform for different people. I just thought it was really.
I appreciate the recommendation.
It's a good
yeah,
one.
and it's kind of like a detective.
I love that kind of book, actually.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
So, there you go.
The other interesting thing about so the typewriter, right, is what really brought the keyboard into our consciousness for writing.
Right.
And people at first didn't trust typed documents because anybody could forge it. You don't know. I recognize your handwriting. I don't know what this thing is. You kind of make it up. It's the same as early printing. People were distrustful at first because that's their reflex, just like Leo. And and so
I want a name like Princess Floppy Wrists. I need a sobriquet.
So
yes,
the
if you want, you
itself
can have that one.
has different connotations.
It would be even more insulting. Yeah.
Anyway, the typewriter. You think about it. I read this recently. I can't remember who said it, but the typewriter was the final nail in the coffin of the scribe.
Interesting.
Scribes kept working until the typewriter came along, and then all bureaucracy switched to typewritten pages.
They could do it themselves, and that's the end of that.
Except in the medical practice, because doctors still have scribes.
No, now they dictate.
Some of them still do have them, though. But you're right; they mostly dictate.
You might want to go to a more modern doctor, Stacey.
Wait a minute. When you go to the doctor, there's somebody sitting there writing down what the doctor says?
No, not most doctors, but okay, well, that was 15 years ago. My OB-GYN.
That's cute.
You might want to go to a doctor more recently, Stacey.
That's cute.
Okay.
I don't go to the doctor, so I have no idea.
That's what's wrong with my wrists. My old-fashioned
I think you
doctor.
need to see an orthopod for those wrists. Yeah, definitely.
An ortho.
Aunt Pruitt, what do you got?
Oh, man. One of our listeners of the show, Miss Tanya Wyman, sent in a suggestion, and I said, this is a great pick of the week, and it is to follow a gentleman named David Lee on Instagram, who does some absolutely beautiful wildlife photography, all with the super telephoto lens. So he's getting just ridiculous detail.
Beautiful.
And just, you can tell he's patient because none of these shots are just simple shots you grab in wildlife. So wanted to give a shout out to David Lee on Instagram. And then I also wanted to shout out Lens Rentals. Lens Rentals has helped me with the show a couple times, and I got an email from them since I've been using them for years. They now have a keeper program to where you can rent some stuff from them. But if you decide to keep it, they got a simple and easy way to buy it from them with a discounted rate. And I think that's pretty daggum good, considering photography gear can be quite expensive, and at least you can try it out before you decide, hey, yeah, I want to buy it. So shout out to them. Next, I just wanted to say good luck to the squad, the high school football team. They're going into round 2 of their playoffs. They won last week. Nice. And we was talking about my camera, and I shot this video with that camera.
It was a foggy night at the football game.
And it was so foggy and so just, it was so much atmosphere.
They won 37-0?
Yeah, it was pretty.
They beat up on those guys.
Yeah, but this week is probably going to be a lot tougher. So
good
want to
going.
give them a shout out and just rooting for these kids. They work really, really hard, and the coaching staff is great.
You go, Rancho Cotati.
Yeah.
We're all...
Look at that fog.
Wow. That kind of adds some mystery to the whole thing.
It was a lot
That's cool.
of fun.
That's really cool.
A lot of fun.
Some drama. Thank you, Aunt Pruitt.
Thank you.
Thanks to all of you. We couldn't do this show without the great contributions of all three of you. Aunt Pruitt, host of Hands on Photography, twit.tv/hop.
That's right.
Community manager at the Twit Discord, our Club Twit. You got an event coming up on Friday.
That is correct.
Hey, can I tell y'all?
That would be yes. Go right ahead.
Okay, y'all. It is Stacey's Sci-Fi Crazy Book Club. But we are reading All Systems Red. And if you're like, oh my God, it's Friday, Stacey, at 4:00, there's no way. This book is 100 pages.
It's
you
easy.
can get through it.
Yes.
It's a novella. So it's not too late to join us and talk about it. And, feel free to drop on the Discord and be like, Stacey, here's what I expect from your book club. Because I'm sitting here going, how thoughtful do we want to be? But it's going to be a good time. Bring snacks, get yourself some beverages. We're going to have fun.
I look forward to it.
What time and how do we do it?
This will be at 4 p.m. Pacific time. I don't know what that is in UTC.
7 p.m. Eastern, 2400 UTC. Is it midnight?
Oh, he's
UTC.
so good. He's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is Friday, and it will be available to our Club Twit members only in the Discord, on our Discord.
So do you go to the live section to watch it?
There will be a video section there under the Club Twit events that you just click on, and it'll pop up the video of Miss Higginbotham and I chatting about the book, and we'll take some questions. And
I'm going to join.
He is one organized SOB, that aunt of yours.
Oh,
he's scheduling me for March.
Yay. Yay.
Jeez.
Well, we had to have time to fireproof the Discord before we let you in. Yeah, this is all part of Club Twit. This is what we were really hoping to do with Club Twit, which is make you more than just the podcast. $7 a month does get you ad-free versions of all of our shows.
It's a great deal.
But then you get access to the Discord, too, which is really a great community of its own. Lots of stuff going on. And there's conversations not just about the shows, but we have topics and all the geek topics. Anime and autos and beer and books and coding and comics and data science and food and gaming, and that's just through the G's. So you can go on in there and meet great people, have a great conversation.
Heck, there's even a discussion of people wanting some coaching about IT careers and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just community advice.
I might go in there and hang out during the World Chess Championship, which is coming up next week. We can do some of that, too, in our chess section.
At least you didn't say Sudoku.
Oh, I can't wait till the Sudoku
Somebody did suggest that for the Discord.
We have a Sudoku. Oh, Lord.
So I'm like, I don't know how to do this.
Quiet room. You also get the Twit Plus feed, which has stuff that happens before and after every show. Go to twit.tv/clubtwit to join. And it really, the main purpose of it, well, I have to say the main purpose of it is just to get our community together and have fun. But the money helps us quite a bit in keeping everything on the air and keeping everything flowing, paying the lights and the rent and all that stuff. So thank you to all our Club Twit members. And please, if you want to join Stacey and her book club, go to twit.tv/clubtwit. It's month to month. So worst case, you join it for a month. See if you like it. You can quit anytime.
We don't even have a book for December since I was going to wait and see how this goes.
So everybody must go and join it. So
and be nice. That's the other part.
Oh, that's the beauty. By the way, I just want to say that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because you have to pay $7 to get in, or if it's just, but it's our great community. And it's never been a problem anywhere in there. It's been wonderful.
There have been disagreements, but they've been respectable disagreements.
Absolutely.
It's pretty cool to see it.
And I thought we were going to have moderators and stuff, and we haven't, because it's just a great place to hang. So if you're looking for a social network that is just about being social and learning and stuff, it's a great place to go. We do This Week in Google every Wednesday, about 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2200 UTC. I would love it if you'd watch us live at live.twit.tv. Those who watch live often chat in our free chat room, irc.twit.tv. And, of course, club members can also go in the Discord and chat with us. After the fact, you can get the show at our website, audio and video, at twit.tv/twig. There's a YouTube channel, This Week in Google. You can also subscribe in your favorite podcast client. If you do that, please leave us a 5-star review. Tell the world about the wackiest show in podcasting. Starring Princess Floppy Wrists.
I can always tell the day of the week based on my Twitter feed.
Gets a little busy right around
Wednesday afternoon and Thursday morning. It's like,
you'll find Stacey at staceyoniot.com. That's her great website. Well worth checking it out. Subscribe to the newsletters. Check out the events and more. And, of course, she does a great podcast with Kevin Toffel, the IoT podcast, all about IoT. We should get you to do a chipcast, too. Chips are hot right now.
What was that?
That was
Because you're not interested. Okay, good to know. Good to know.
No, I just feel that other people.
You're such an expert. It's so nice. But, it is kind of dull. Yeah.
I'm like one of those people who assault you at a party and tell you all the
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking.
Step away.
Yeah. We have also the fabulous director of the Town Knight Center for Entrepreneurial Journalism at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism. At the City University of New York.
No reprise.
Frank Sinatra called him a bum. Ray Kroc called him a nickel millionaire. Former TV Guide critic. And Mother of Dragons. No, that's not you.
Thank you, Reverb Mike, in the chat.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Have a great week. We'll see you next time on This Week in Google. Bye-bye.
Android is constantly evolving, and if you're part of the Android faithful, then you'll be just as excited about it as I am. I'm Jason Howell, host of All About Android, along with my co-hosts Florence Ion and Ron Richards, where every week we cover the news, we cover the hardware, and we cover the apps that are driving the Android ecosystem. Plus, we invite people who are writing about Android, talking about Android, and making Android onto the show. Every Tuesday at twit.tv, look for All About Android.